On this video, I'm going to share with you what retirement really means and how to get there faster. My name's Doug Rabel, partner at Sterling Heights Financial Group, where we advise hundreds of clients across the country on things like their investments, retirement, and their financial planning. The one thing I want to go through is there's multiple different perceptions of what retirement really means. To some people, that might mean just having enough to cover their monthly expenses. To others, that may mean owning a yacht and a mansion in Beverly Hills. I want to go through the various steps it takes to hit retirement and give you some tips on how you can get there faster. So let's start with what retirement really means to the average everyday person. To me, I look at retirement as when you get to a point in your life financially where all of your necessities, all of your monthly bills are covered without having to work. So how do you get there? It has to come from some form of income, whether it's investments, pension, or your retirement assets. Back in the day, it used to be very easy to plan for retirement. Almost everyone would have access to a pension, as well as Social Security, and any extra savings that you had accrued over the years working would just be your fund money to enjoy retirement. Now things are a little bit different. Very few people have access to pensions. Social Security is dwindling, as you may know. And lastly, inflation is continuing to increase year by year, making it more expensive to live, especially for those on a fixed income. So now when it comes to planning, we need to consider the gap between what you'll receive with your Social Security, being that there's probably not a pension. That excessive income is going to have to come from somewhere else in order to cover your monthly expenses, as well as providing leisure spending, travel, and other personal items that you may want to purchase down the road. When it comes to retirement, first we have to do a couple simple calculations. One, we want to create a very specific list of your itemized expenses that you're going to expect to incur now and in the future. List out every single detail, all the necessities, right? Anything from your housing expenses, insurance, vehicles, utilities, groceries, fuel for the car, travel, anything that you can expect. And come up with a monthly budget that will be acceptable now and also including inflation. As you could tell over the past 5 to 6 years, things aren't cheap anymore. That's the cost of goods and services increasing over time, and it's not expected to stop anytime soon. So we want to make sure that not only are we going to be having an acceptable budget for now, but 10, 20, 30, 40 years into the future. So now we just do a simple equation and work backwards. Take your monthly expenses and subtract that from the consistent guaranteed income that you expect to receive in retirement. So what are you expected to receive with your Social Security? If you have a pension, what's the monthly payout going to be on that? And can we get a general breakdown of what those investment assets can and will produce for you over a long period of time? If there's a gap left over, then that's something important that either one, you're going to have to save more, or two, we're going to have to find some kind of an investment vehicle to create more monthly income to fulfill those needs to cover your monthly expenses. So this is the common steps that everybody goes through to determine when a good time to retire is and when you can actually achieve full retirement. So in order to get there faster, it's a very simple strategy. You can only do really 3 things. One is you can make more money, 2, you could spend less money, and 3, you can have better investments. That's pretty much it. It's not sexy, it's not fun. Most of the time it comes with delaying gratification, reducing your monthly expenses, maybe getting additional certifications, taking on another job, starting a business, any way that you can increase your income. And over a longer period of time, you consistently spend less than you make, try to make as much as you possibly can, and invest all the difference. The more you get invested, the faster you're going to be able to achieve retirement, which for me is no longer needing to work to cover all your bills and having some excess cash left over for some leisure spending. So let's go through some different investment strategies as you've been diligently saving and increasing your income. Next question is, what do you do with the money in order to get to retirement faster? Well, there's a few different things to consider. One is investing for growth, which is focusing on long-term investments to actually increase your wealth long-term. Perhaps that's buying individual stocks, ETFs, and index funds to keep your expenses low, buying real estate, investing in businesses. These are all things that have an equity component, meaning they will grow over time if you hold them long enough and that they're a sound business and you buy at the correct valuations. Next, you want to consider is the excess income that you may or may not need in retirement. So if there's a gap between your monthly bills and your current income, we need to focus on other assets that produce monthly income. So when it comes to locating these types of investments, if you're looking to fill that income gap, we have to focus on things that produce interest. Typically that is from debt. So whether that is money market accounts, treasuries, bonds, private financing, lending money to local businesses, investing in real estate assets that produce monthly income, and other different vehicles that can merge that gap or cross the bridge from your current income to the expenses that you need to cover long term. So let's run through the checklist here of how to hit retirement faster. Step one is focus on increasing your income throughout your entire working career, whether it's getting another certification, going back to school, trying to get a promotion, adding a side business. Anything that you can do to improve your value in society will increase your income. Next is keeping your expenses low. I know it's going to be very difficult as your income's rising. You're going to want to buy the new fancy thing, buy the bigger house, buy the nicer car, but you have to be diligent and focused on your long-term goal, which is hitting retirement faster. The only way to do that is having more assets invested. So in order to get those assets invested, you have to save up the money. So as you're consistently doing this over a period of years, because sadly this doesn't happen overnight, next you want to be focused on what investment vehicles are going to fulfill your needs. So whether it's additional income to fill a gap or something to grow and build wealth long term. Lastly is consider inflation. Make sure that when you're doing your calculations, you're assuming that the prices of goods and services are going to continue to increase long term. And of course, include taxes. If you're pulling out from certain vehicles that have taxable income, you're not going to receive the gross that you're pulling out. You're going to receive a net number, which will be significantly less. So make sure you have all the correct data. Make sure your monthly income and monthly expenses are as perfect as you can get. And focus on doing this year after year, and you'll reach retirement significantly faster than the average everyday person.